Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarda Zone. We're going to. I've got Daniel and Charlotte here. It's great. We're going to do Tom Baker's our personal top 5 Tom Baker stories. I've wanted to do this for a while because myself and Daniel had already. Was it? Yeah, it was Daniel. We've done some stories before. I gave our list was controversial. Yeah, very. Yeah. So there might be a bit of controversy tonight, but that's what we're going to do. We've already got a super chat, though.
Oh, thank you, whoever it is.
Yeah, we've already got a super chat, so I might as well read that one out first. Hold on. It says, "Evening, Noel. I hope that you're keeping well. Would like to know if there was a fourth Doctor comic strip they would like to have been a TV series. And would an animated version interest them?" Okay, so you're asking if there's a comic book strip that we would like to see turn into a TV series or a story. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think it's. See, I don't read the comics, so I'm.
Yeah, I don't read either, Digby. But that is a good question. If anybody in the chat that does buy the magazine, if you'd like to answer that question in the chat there, and I'll throw the responses up. But that's a great question by Digby, and I just want to say seriously, man, thank you very much for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. But as I said, we are here to do our top 5 Tom Baker stories. So what we'll do is we'll go around the panel, including myself, and we'll start from 5 and work our way down to our number 1 story. So what we will do, I don't want to put anybody on the spot yet, but have you got your 5 stories ready to go? You know where you're going to put them?
Yeah. Because of me in classic, it might not be so much a proper order. It'll just be 5 stories I like.
No problem. That's fair enough. But we will start with you first. So give us your 5th choice first, because we'll do it from 5. Then I'll ask Daniel's his 5th favorite story, and then I'll do my 5th favorite story. So we'll start with you, Charlotte, as they say, ladies first. So
and if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the titles, because I'm still learning. I think it probably will be Planet of Evil. Sorry, that's Planet of Evil, because I do quite like the sort of how they do the monster in that. It's quite like you don't know what it is for a good chunk of the story, and I do like it when who is a little bit more shy with that and doesn't instantly blast you in the face with "here's your villain." It's quite I think that's one of the creepy ones. I quite like the atmosphere as well. It has a really creepy sort of. It's almost like a little bit slasher film, but it's sci-fi. So it's sort of, and I think there's some lovely interactions between Tom and Elizabeth. I think they're really sparking off each other in that story, because the Doctor's almost sort of being a bit more playing the fool. So like Elizabeth or Sarah has to be a bit more stern with him, and it is a fun thing when Sarah's almost a bit like the mum, like telling the kid off, like, "Oh, behave." So I quite like it when you see that in the Tom Baker and Elizabeth's pairing up, because I think she was very good with that. She was sort of the voice he needed a lot, that Doctor, to sort of make him be a bit more sensible when it was needed.
So your choice for number 5 is What's a Face of Evil?
No, Planet.
Oh, Planet of Evil. Yeah, Jesus. No. Grand. So that's your 5th choice. Let's see what Daniel's 5th choice is. And Daniel, if you could do what Charlotte did as well, and kind of give your reasons why you picked the story that you've picked. Go ahead. And I'm after hitting myself in the head so hard, I'm after giving myself a bit of a headache there.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for the introduction. Well, yeah, so, yeah, so my number five is actually kind of, yeah, because, because as you know, it's got really heartwarming, it's got really heartwarming for I, as it's, as it's, as he's, asked, um, asked, asked who's Warriors either Jane, so you can get and like the acting bit and the acting between both but you know Elizabeth and Elizabeth and as absolutely sensational again and I felt that Gerard was an um, was an interesting film, and I enjoyed Gerard.
Well, that's a good choice, I have to say. I was gonna put that in my top five, to be quite honest with you. But then, I agree with Lee that this is gonna be tough for me because there's a lot of great stories. But I think for number five, I'm gonna have to go with Tom Baker's first one, Robot. It was not the he just the regenerate is not is not the
Yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah,
Tom's first episode.
yeah.
Obviously, the regeneration was at the end of.
Yeah, I do. I like the start. I do like this story. I think it's very. It's a very interesting story. Obviously, you've got the scientist and you've got this robot, and Tom Baker is obviously he's just at the doctor's just at the regenerating, so it's very chaotic. I have to be honest. I know there's going to be better stories, but for me, I think number five has to be Robot. There's just so much going on in it. Actually, as well, if you kind of look at it as parallels to what's happening in today's world, it's a very eye-opening story. And again, it's this whole thing with man with machine, the creator, and then obviously the robot then turns against its creator. It's very I like that story. I have a soft spot for that story. And listen, if you had asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't even have mentioned this story at all. But it's because we've been doing the watch alongs, we have done it, and it's fresh in the memory. So for me, number five would be his very first story. Would be Robot. So let's go with number four. So Charlotte, would you like me to come to you, or will I go to Daniel first, or have you had to think about it?
I've had a thought. I've thought of this one.
Right.
Looking through them now, I actually liked Armageddon Factor because I think it's a really clever way to sort of have because obviously we have Layla Ward before she was what we know her as, and I quite like the idea that character had such an impact, and the sacrifice of her willing to do that made Romana sort of really take note and almost influence her. So I think that's a really clever sort of way to do a regeneration and a companion going forward. And I quite like the sort of I thought the way they did the space battles and the idea of sort of the general that's got a bit power hungry and is willing to sacrifice everything. And at first, you just think he's sort of that type of typical character you see in sci-fi. But the more you get into the story, the more you realise, no, actually, he's being controlled, and like there's this whole other plot by, I can't remember what the creatures are now, but it's like they're sort of using the planet as a proxy and the war to further their own sort of means. So I think it's got lots of clever layers for something that can look a bit like it's a bit sloppy. Like it's a bit it's just pulp, it's just like spaceships and stuff. But I actually found watching it, and because that's a 6-parter, isn't it? I think it's one of the longer ones.
Yeah, it's a very long one.
No, and the pace I found was really good. I actually didn't think it was too long for a 6-parter. So yeah, I might surprise, but I quite liked Armageddon Factor, so that'd be my next one.
Fantastic. I just want to put Enigmatic Joker because he's given us his top 5 as well, and this is his number 4. He's picked Deadly Assassin for his number 4. Daniel, what is your number 4 story? What would you?
I'm going to give it to Horror of Ragnarok because because it's a very sinister story that scares the shit out of you. And the atmosphere tension and the atmosphere tension gets ramped up throughout the course of the episode, and like this was my first Baker episode that I owned on DVD, so yeah, us have a sentimental value, and also pretty much of the supporting cast. I'll kick the bucket as well. Also, I like stories where there's a lot of
he likes violence, Daniel.
Yeah,
He does. He actually does. I'm trying to think of my number 4 because this is very difficult because I kind of know what my top 3 is, so I'm trying to think of what.
Are you shifting stuff around in your head?
Oh yeah, I am. Believe it or not, because I do know what my top 3 is going to be. So do you know what? Actually, yeah. I forgot this was a Tom Baker story. Believe it or not, I can't believe I actually forgot this was a Tom Baker story. But I'm gonna say my number 4 is going to be City of Death. That's the Mona Lisa one, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that the one where they went like abroad for filming?
Yeah, I like that story. I know it's not most fans' favorite story, but I do like the whole idea of the start of the story. We see the alien spacecraft and something happens, doesn't it? And then then we get all of this stuff. The Doctor and it is Romana, isn't it? That's with him in that story. It is Romana, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is Leela Ward. Yeah, it is. And that's the one with the Mona. Yeah, I found that story very fascinating, actually. I think it's quite underrated. I forget how many parts it actually is. Hold on, how many parts was it? It was 4 parts. Yeah. It was a nice, tidy story. Yeah, I mean, look, it's as you know, they go onto this planet. They end up in obviously Paris. And Scaroth, wherever you call the bleeding, intends to erase human history. And I do like the fact that this fella keeps going back through different time periods. And I do love I actually seen a bit of merchandise as well, actually, where we got the pictures of the Mona Lisa, but the Doctor writes on the back of it that it's fake or something. I actually seen merchandise for it. But I do. I love this story. My top 3 is going to be quite quite simple actually. Yeah, my top three is York. But City of Death for me would be top four. By the way, it was released the year I was born. So I was born in 1979. In June. This story dropped in what you call it, September. Started in September, I think. Yeah, there it is, September 29th. I was supposed to be born in September, but I was born premature. So I could have been born on the date this was actually released. But yeah, by the way, 12.4 million people watched. Just want to throw that out there. That, 12.4 million people watched that story. But there you go. Went in from September to October. 4 parts. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Tom Baker stories. Personal, anyway, favorite. I know there's a lot of people. There's not a lot. I don't know how many, if it's well liked or not. But for me, it's mine. So that's my number four. Um, I'm just trying. Yeah, I know what my top three is, but I'm kind of shifting them around in my head because there's one that should be number one. But then I have a personal favorite, as you know, I have a soft spot for a certain story, and it's going to be awkward. Me top three, because I know if I was to do this top three maybe in a week or two from now, it'd probably shift. But I'll stick with what way I put it. Right, Charlotte, give us your number. What are we on?
Number 3.
Yeah, your number. Yeah, that's the one. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with Brain of Morbius. I don't care what Jibnall says, because I really, like I said when we did it, I really liked the sort of mixture you had of the magic with the Sisterhood of Khan. I think they are really fascinating. Sort of the idea that Gallifrey sort of has these almost different groups that are not Time Lords, and they're not like part of the structure. They're outside the structure, but they share a lot of similarities with the Time Lords. So I think the Sisterhood is a very interesting idea, and I quite like the way they were portrayed. This sort of, like I said, the mystical, the magic, the sort of everything that Time Lord society is the opposite of, but their arrogance is the same. Their sort of thing that they should be the ones to have knowledge is sort of what they share with Time Lords. And I do think it's a very clever, because I really like Frankenstein. It's one of my favourite books, so I've seen so many interpretations now. And I think that is probably one of the better interpretations, because it understands the essence, which is life, and whether we should have that control and mess with it, and the consequences. But it sort of does it in a very sci-fi fashion, which is, the book was sci-fi, but it was obviously stuck in the time period it was written in. And I think it's quite clever, actually, that if you look at, like I said, the way that the mind game is done,
yeah,
I think it is very much almost in that argument saying this is what happens when you mess with nature, that you create something unnatural that shouldn't exist, so it will be faulty, it will have mistakes, it will sort of have that sort of response. And like I said, I think I like Tom's doctor when sometimes he's not in control. I find Tom very interesting when his doctor's in that position, because he's usually so much the centre point.
yeah.
So in that one, he's good chunks of that one, he's sort of like going to and fro, and he's trying to work out who he should work with.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. Should he be with the Sisterhood? Should he help the scientists? Then it's sort of to and fro in. So yeah, Brain Morbius for my number 3.
Daniel, go ahead.
My number, number 3 is actually the robot. Is actually the robot. So, essentially because I like the idea of like the idea I like the idea of robots kind of turning on and kind of turning on humanity and on humanity, and I think is well because you're surrounded by so much and by so much and it can all it's it serves as it kind of serves as a challenge and it kind of serves as a challenge on in as well. So yeah, my number my number E is the my number B is the robots. Yeah.
Interesting choice. Actually, I think my top five is actually going to surprise a lot of people. So, my number three is actually Revenge of the Cybermen. There's several reasons actually why I picked that story. But mostly it's because I don't know if people remember UK Gold back in the day, and I used to have this DVD player that could record off that TV station, right? So I actually have a disc that I've had for years. Right now, I actually have the story now for real, but I have this disc where it actually has the original air thing when they aired it on UK TV Gold back in the day, including all the TV ads. But this is the story where Sarah Jane is obviously, they land on this space station, and then we got the Cybermats. Obviously, she gets infected. Harry Sullivan actually comes into his own in this story as well. He's very good in this story. Obviously, they find out then what's the planet? Vogel, isn't that the planet or something? It's called the. Is
The
that
chat will help us. The chat will
yeah.
help us.
But you've got obviously you've got an agent or double agent working for the Cybermen. What you call it, and he's sabotaging the space station. Yeah, it is Vogel, isn't it? Yeah. See, some stories, they stay in me head, so I can actually explain them well. But I love this story because Sarah Jane is coming close to death. You've got the doctor trying to figure out what's going on, and Harry. I think they're kind of all. Isn't this a story where they're kind of all separated at first, but then they all come together, and then we find out that that what you call it, that it's all a plan from the agent. He's trying to. Well, I if I remember correctly, I think he's trying to help the people of Vogel destroy the Cybermen. But it's a great Cyberman story. I like that Cyberman story. I do like the cyber suits. I like the cyber mats. I just like everything about it's a typical Doctor Who story, space station or base under siege kind of thing, and the stakes are high. And yeah, I mean that's Revenge of the Cybermen is definitely. I think you've already guessed what my top two are going to be now that I've picked the Cybermen. But yeah, I knew my top five be a bit weird, but there you go. For me, why Noel? Why Revenge of the Cybermen is my least favorite Tom
Yeah,
story.
Paul Bum doesn't agree with you.
Well,
God.
we all got different tastes. I have a soft spot for that. I really do. I love the story. Look, I mightn't be everybody's cup of tea, but I'd sit there and watch that over and over again. It's one of those Tom Baker stories that I can actually sit down and watch it over and over again, like the other two that I'm going to mention in my top two. But I do like that. I knew people wouldn't agree with my top five. I just have weird tastes, but that is my number three, Revenge of the Cybermen. So now we're getting to the interesting part now. Because I've got a funny feeling maybe we might all have the same number one. I could be wrong, but got a funny feeling at least two of us on the panel may agree with number one, but we'll see. I'm not going to influence anybody. But Charlotte, your number two story, what is it?
See, I'm struggling now because I've got one that I know I want to say, but I'm thinking, is it one or two?
Did that? Come here. I'll tell you what I'll in the private chat, right? What my two stories that I'm going to pick, right?
Well, just to let people know, there's chunks I have not seen of Tom. So if something's not in there, it's because I haven't watched it yet. So
yeah.
then that's why some of mine might be a bit weird because I'm going off what I've watched.
So I'm probably spelling it wrong, but you'll know what I mean. But they're the two stories that I've got to try pick. Which one?
One of them I'm trying to place. One of them.
Yeah. Because it'll be controversial. Because if I go with the second one first, people probably disagree. If I go with the other one, see, because one I have a real soft spot for, and the other one is probably one of the greatest stories ever written for Tom Baker. So I think people already know anyway. But there's Enigmatic Joker actually gives Genesis. Genesis is number two for him. So it'll be interesting to see what he actually thinks is number one. But don't tell us yet. For the third Doctor, it's Pyramids of Mars. Very interesting. But let's see what Charlotte actually thinks.
Right, because I'm looking through titles now. Because there's some stuff I'm like, I watched that, but I can't remember what it's called, which doesn't really help me.
Look at what Lee says. Look what Lee says. We are just you know.
We know.
Yeah, well, jeez, if I get this.
I'm going to be cheeky and say, can Daniel go? Because I am literally trying to play stuff right now.
That old chestnut.
Right, you know what? I'll take the bullet. I'll take the bullet first. I'll go next. Right. So my number two story is going to be. It has to be Pyramids of Mars. I can't lie to myself. Even though that for me is I have such a huge spot for this story as well. Again, it's on that same disc as Revenge of the Cybermen when it aired on UK TV Gold. Obviously, I have it on the DVD box set there now. But I will have to say, look, I have to be truthful about it. The Pyramids of Mars is number two, and what isn't there to like? You've got Mummies, you've got Zootech, you've got Tom Baker. What I believe is probably one of his greatest performances. You've got that iconic speech. Do I have the right? Yeah. Oh no, that's not that one. That's Genesis. See,
that's Genesis.
Oh, see, I'm confused. No, I'm sorry. I'm putting Genesis second. I'm sorry. I'm putting Genesis second. I'm putting Genesis second. I'm sorry, controversial, but I'm putting Genesis second. But all the things that I said, forget about the Zootech shit because I got that mixed up. See, this is what. But yeah, Genesis will go number two, even though some people will say it should be number one. These are probably right, but because I have a soft spot for Pyramids, I'm gonna have to stay true to myself. I've always said that Pyramids would be, is up there. But again, just to go back to Genesis, you got Davros, you got Noel, all the supporting cast are brilliant in this. You've got the Daleks, sinister Daleks, and as I said, you've got that speech. Do I have the right? And it does stir up a very interesting question because I think over the years, people have come up with things. Well, if you had a time machine, would you go back? For example, if you had a time machine, would you go back and kill Hitler when he was a baby and all of this? And it does bring up that big, huge debate. And Tom Baker's Doctor is in a similar situation with the Daleks. Does he have a right to wipe out an entire species? Even though he knows how evil they're going to be and what they're going to do in the universe. does he have that right? And the writing is just sensational. But yeah, that's my number 2. And I know people will disagree with me, right? But that is my number 2 because my number 1 is my favorite. So there's So I'm sorry. I know that's going to annoy you all, and if it has, well, you know, that's just the way it is, isn't it? Isn't it? But there you go. Yeah, Genesis number 2. So we top 3: Revenge, Genesis, and you've already know my number 1, but we'll leave it there for now. Right, Charlotte, are you ready, or do you want Daniel to go? Do you need a little bit more time to think?
Have Daniel, just because obviously this is classic, so I'm not as
No,
as everybody else.
You're grand. And we will do New Who with you. We'll do Matt Smith's top 5 stories, right? During the week or whenever we get a chance to do. But we'll definitely do that, right? Because I know for you that's more. Well, he's your favorite doctor as well, so you can have no problem picking.
No,
this is difficult. This is difficult for me because I know people look at my top 5 and say, "No, I disagree with that." But here's the thing with Tom Baker: we could do this top 5, say next year,
and it will shift.
Completely different top 5, or stories will shift around. But there you go. That is Genesis is my number 2. Even though I know realistically it should be number 1, but this is a personal choice kind of thing. So Daniel, what is your number 2, and is it going to be as controversial as my number 2 pick?
Number 2 is actually the assassin.
Ooh.
Partly because we get more of the Gallifreyan mythology, we get a little bit more of it, as well. Tom Baker's performance again is on up another one. Because his performance in this was sensational, and some of the guest cast, again are exceptional in this story, and there's just tension throughout this tension throughout the story, and get on the edge of this and get on the edge of the seat constantly when you watch it.
The deadliest that again, see that could have been very easily in my top 5 as well, but this is hard. This is hard because it's Tom Baker. It really is hard. And I see someone in there saying Noel said he has his top 3, so and he's changed his mind already. I know, because it's hard. And I even got confused because I'm running the stories through my bleeding head all the time, and I'm thinking, have I picked the right stories here? I'm second guessing myself here, but I'm gonna stick with what I said, and Genesis is my number 2. But let's see what Charlotte's number 2 is. And remember, guys, you know, Charlotte is only watching Classic Q when she does the streams with us and stuff like that. So she's still, so her top 5 is obviously the top 5 as she's watching
seen them
now. Yeah. So her top 5, if we were to do this next year when we're finished all Tom Baker, she'll probably have a completely different top 5, believe it or not. But that's the way it goes. So what is, so far with all the stories that you've watched, what is your number 1?
Well, I'll say what my number 1 is. It's my number 2 I'm struggling with.
Oh, your number 2. Your number 2. You still can't figure your number 2 out?
Well, like I said, I'm looking through them now, and I've realised I've done a lot of horror stuff. So I'm trying to think of things we've watched that isn't like very horror.
Right.
And have we watched Ark in Space?
I think we've done that story.
Because that's very different. That's what I'm trying to think. Like, that's obviously you do have the creature. You do have creature feature stuff, but it's very much almost the opposite end of it's sort of Noah's Ark, isn't it, but in space. So it's this idea of humanity going out into space. Here we go, there'll be a load of people in the chat.
Oh, we did do Ark in Space. That's the one where he has the speech. Tom Baker has the speech about humans when he sees them all in the cryo. Yeah.
So I think
we've done that.
Yeah, I think that'd be my number 2 then, because I do like it when you see the Doctor being able to show his science sort of side and his sort of love of seeing science and humanity also advancing. I think that's a big part of the Doctor's personality, that he loves to see humans, that we haven't just stayed on the planet. We've tried to go out, we've tried to advance, and it's sort of, I think the Ark's also quite a good, sort of got a good moral side to it as a story, because it's like humanity trying with good intentions, thinking, oh, we'll put ourselves to sleep, but while they've been sleeping, these insects have invaded, and in a sort of a bit of a morbid fashion, being asleep has made them more vulnerable to attack. And I think it is quite sad when I can't remember the woman's name, the supervisor, they wake up, who's the medical officer, and that she basically has to sacrifice the leader, who you can tell she obviously loves him. Yeah. So that's quite tragic, and it's sort of, and he's trying to fight the infection.
Yeah.
And you sort of see him trying, and like he has that one moment, doesn't he, at the end, where it's like he fights it and he sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite tragic. So it's got lots of different genres, I'd say, Ark. So I'll go that for number 2, because it's a bit different as well.
Another good, see, this is hard, man, because that's another good story as well. Ah, Jesus, we should have done a top 10 and made it easier, maybe. But yeah, good choice, Charlotte. Absolutely. So, Daniel, have you given us? See, I'm getting confused now. Haven't you given us your number 2 yet?
Yeah, I said there was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we went first. That's what it was, and then Charlotte went. Yeah, because she was still thinking. Right. Obviously, number 1. So the number 1 Tom Baker story, and as you have your story already, Charlotte, you can actually go first, and then Daniel, you can go after Charlotte. And I think everybody knows what my number 1 is, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah, my one's Pyramids, and the reason why People Genesis isn't included, I've not got round to watching it yet. So you can all kill me later. You can all kill me later.
Hang on for a minute. You haven't watched Genesis yet?
No, we know this, Daniel.
No, hold on. Then we were trying to struggle. Right, I was going to do Power of the Daleks as the classic Who story, but if Charlotte hasn't watched Genesis,
not as part of the stream, unless you did it before I came on.
I think we might have. But do you know what? We'll do, if everybody is actually okay with this for Saturday, we'll do Genesis of the Daleks. If she hasn't seen it, she has to see the story. This is it is amazing. But Pyramids of Mars.
You know this.
Nice.
Yeah, Pyramids number 1. You know that, Daniel. We've had multiple discussions that you've told me off, and I said, yeah, I'll get round to it because it's part. I'm watching classic.
Oh wow. Lee's top 5. Look at Lee's top 5. Sorry, Daniel, but Lee's top 5. Holy shit! I think Pyramids of Mars, City of Death, Robots of Death, Genesis of the Daleks, and the Pirate Planet for me for now. Yeah, because it does change, Lee, doesn't it? It keeps switching, doesn't it? That's the beauty about stories.
Lee Halford, we're going to do it on Saturday. I think I'm going to have some people in the chat now.
In fairness, I think we did do that before you came on board, because you were doing New Who originally, and we were doing classic with a separate yoke. But then we thought it'd be a good idea to put you on the classic because you hadn't seen stuff, because you come up with points of view that maybe we didn't come up with, and you always do. But yeah, we'll do that on Saturday. Jesus, man, I can't believe you haven't watched it. But don't worry, see, this is the thing now. I think your top 5 will change again once you see this story. You might remove one of the other stories to put Genesis in. That's the thing. But we'll do that then. But Go on. You were saying Pyramids of Mars. Why Pyramids of Mars?
Because I think Sutek is probably one of the most mysterious, interesting villains they've ever created. I really like the fact that he's such a powerful being, and he's in one story as well. I think that makes him stand out a lot. That it's not like he came back and you learnt more about his backstory. We still don't know the majority of where, like, we can guess with Sutek, but a lot of it is mysterious, and I quite like that with a villain, and I think that's a rarity sometimes in Doctor Who. And I think Tom, I think that's probably one of the best performances I think he's given, because he's that whole part when he's captured or he's playing being captured. It's just so fantastic that is Tom fully showing how his eyes tell a lot, like his movements. It's all very non-verbal based. And I like the horror stuff, so I think that's sort of some of the best of the horror era with Tom. So it's sort of I like spooky, and that's probably the best spooky episode that he did for me.
Right. So Pyramids of Mars is Charlotte's number one. Obviously, that might change when she watches Genesis, but for now, I actually think your top 5 list is pretty decent, Charlotte. I have to be honest. Same with Daniels. But again, if you look in the chat as well, people have their own top 5, and it seems to vary from each person. But what I will ask is, before we get to Daniel, see the way Lee has put it up to his top 5. Instead of putting them separately, guys, like 4, and then if you could put them all in a list, put them up on screen there. Let me know what your top 5 Tom Baker stories are. Put them all in one comment, and I'll read them out, like Enigmatic Joker has done now. So Daniel, I will read them out. But Daniel, you go ahead and give us your number 1 story.
Which should come as no surprise that it's Charlotte's homework for this weekend.
Cheeky little son today, Candy.
Genesis of the weeks. Well, in case you haven't already noticed, man, nickname on YouTube is obviously the Scottish Avros and Michael Asher's performance captivated me as a kid in the first spot. So
yeah,
he is my favourite Avros, and every other every other character apart from the TARDIS team is a bit of an asshole, basically, and I enjoy stories with and I enjoy stories where everybody's a bit of an asshole. It makes it more fun, and to be honest, to be honest, I've always had a soft spot for the I've always had a soft spot for the H Aaron Avros.
yeah.
To be honest with you, so that's and obviously with the performances from as it is exceptional.
Yeah. I mean, the very first episode of that is absolutely some of the best Doctor Who you'll see, where they're on, I don't want to say it because Charlotte hasn't seen it yet, but it is an amazing story. And now that you talk about, I'm kind of thinking, have I made the right choice? But I'm going to stick with what I said. But continue anyway. Go on, because you were still talking there. But I just want to get that put, because it is, Charlotte, this is, I will have to say, like, if Pyramids wasn't me personal favorite, this for me is this story Genesis would be classed as one of the definitive Tom Baker stories, and no wonder it ranks high because everything about it. Harry is brilliant in it. Sarah is brilliant in it. You know, you'll see you'll see what the story is about, but it's very good. And I do agree with Daniel. The Davros in this, he is the best Davros. I have to be honest. His Davros is, oh my god, blows you away. Jesus, now I'm even trying to convince myself that I've got it wrong. Shut up, Noel. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I know. And also as well, we have and and we have Davros henchman, and I and I he's a fascinating character as well. And he's a fascinating character as well. And I won't go into and I won't go into the specifics spoilers because I don't want to spoil it for Charlotte um because because that's because that's story I promise it'll be in your top five stories at all time to tell you what watch it.
Yeah, no, I think some of the reason why I've sort of not watched it yet is because I've heard like people gush about it, and I'm a bit like, I don't want to watch it and not gush because everybody else is.
That's like Cheryl with Back to the Future, right? She hasn't never watched the trilogy, but she's kind of hesitant to watch it because it has been hyped up. It has, people have gushed over that movie. So I get where you're coming from, actually. But you're going to experience it this weekend, and I tell you, I envy you because you are going to be blown away, and I mean literally blown away by this story. The only reason why it doesn't feature my number one is because the other one to me was probably growing up as a kid. It was the first Tom Baker story that I actually watched was my number one choice, but we will get into our my number one. Obviously, it's obvious. It's Pyramids of Mars. I agree with everything that Charlotte said about it. This is the like pinnacle of the horror kind of trope that they were doing Tom Baker's era. As she says, you know, Zootek, there's the great villain, and also a villain that a lot of fans, even still to this day, would love to see return to Doctor Who. That's how much
but
impact.
I think the mystery works. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, I honestly think that would ruin it.
Yeah, but remember at the end of that story, when Sarah Jane asks him if Zootek is dead, he doesn't give a definitive answer. He basically says, well, maybe he doesn't actually know if he's gone, you know. So, but I would agree with you. I wouldn't bring Zootek back now with the current climate. But it is a villain. It is a villain. And listen, I love acting about Egypt. I love acting about Egypt. So straight away, that's a plus for me. There was a bit of controversy in that story. Obviously, the director wanted Sarah Jane to fire a gun in it, and Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen had actually went to the director. They actually say it. If you watch Pyramids of Mars and you watch the extras, Elizabeth Sladen says in the interview that herself and Tom Baker weren't happy, especially Tom wasn't happy that Sarah Jane had picked up a gun and basically shot it because she'd never used a weapon before that, I think. So they thought it didn't make sense. So there was a bit of tension there. Do you know what I love about the extras? Yeah, all when you watch them, you could tell even by the interviews that they were still kind of bitter about that it still annoyed them. And these were interviews that they'd done in the early 90s for this when Doctor Who was kind of people were, it was re-emerging, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
people, the interviews, they were doing a lot of interviews and stuff, but very quite telling. And even the director, she gets interviewed in and it's a woman director, by the way. And you could tell that she was a right snotty-nosed cow. Like, because even in her interview, she was the kind of snotty about the whole thing. Well, Tom and they don't know what they're talking about and all that. But if anybody knew what they were talking about, it was Tom and Elizabeth Sladen. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? They tell you that Sarah Jane, that's not part of her character, which it wasn't. This was completely away from our character, and I don't think the director understood that. But look, overall, that story is just to me, it's not perfect. But as I said, it was the first Tom Baker story that I watched, and I loved it. I loved it. My dad was a Doctor Who fan. I say was past tense because he hasn't watched any in New Who. He watched it all the way up to Sylvester McCoy's run, and that was it. And I remember growing up being on the telly, and my dad actually saying to me as a kid, "This year's to be better," because by the time they got there, it got ridiculous. But he was saying, "Yeah, this show was much better than it is now." But yeah, he watched it until the end, and then that was it. He never had any interest in it again. But for me, it's Pyramids of Mars. That's my number one, and I know that's going to cause a little bit of controversy with people. But can't wait for Charlotte now to see Genesis. That no, because I love when Charlotte gets to see a new story, but especially this one, because this one I know for a fact I envy you. I really do, and I think a lot of us in the chat. Oh! I'm just spilling something. Will envy you because this is absolutely an amazing story. Right, let's get into some of the comments. I have still got Enigmatic Joker's comment up there. So his top 5 is at number 5, The Horrors of Fan Rock. We've got number 4, The Deadly Assassin. Seeds of Doom is number 3. Genesis is number 2 for Enigmatic Joker. And City of Death is number 1. Let's see what else we've got. We've got The Third Doctor. Let's get up your comment there. I hate the way the chat skips there. Hold on. Let me go back.
So you've got Thinking. He's put his up. I don't think we've seen his yet.
Right, hang on, because my chat is at the skipping on this, and my computer has decided that it's going to start playing up now. But I will get them up on the screen. Hold on. Right, so go back up now. Oh, are you trying to kill me? Right, hold on. The screen has to move over because it's all squashed to one side. Right, let's do this again. Right, so Thinking, you said put. Where's his 5?
It's like 3 up or 4 up, if I'm counting.
I don't actually see it.
I can read it out. His is number 1, Genesis. Number 2, Pyramids. Number 3, Ark in Space. Number 4, Terror of the Zygons. And number 5, The Android Invasion. But he's put all will probably interchange by next week. So he's very like you.
Exactly. The Third Doctor goes number 5, Ark in Space. Number 4 is Deadly Assassin. Number 3 is Robots of Death. Number 2 for him is Pyramids. And number 1, not surprisingly, is Genesis. Then Real Super Doctor, his top 5 is I can never say this bleeding feckin' episode's name. Number 5, oh Jesus, why do you do this to me? Yeah, whatever that bleeding is. Number 4, Robot. Number 5, the Rebus Operation. I'm probably saying that wrong as well. Number 2, The Horrors of Fan Rock. Don't be trying to trick me, which is a bleeding weird bleeding episode tiles. Number 1 is Genesis. I can never say that logo. Blah blah blah. I can never say it properly. Oh man! Right, TARDIS time. His top 5 is. Let me see. So number 5, Horrors of Fan Rock. Number 4, Keeper of Trackon. I've probably said that wrong as well. Number 3, Doom. Number 2, Robots of. No, hold on. Robots of Death. No. See, I'm confused now because you have number 1, Mars. Number 2, Robots of Death. Genesis of the Daleks. 3, Seeds of Doom. What? So, see, you've confused me there. You have 6.
I think you've added 1, TARDIS. I think you've got 6 there.
Yeah, you've got 6 there. So if you want to put your top 5 up again, I will read it out. But that is, I don't know which order you want to put them in. So I don't want to say that is your top 5 if it isn't. But Darren has put City of Death, number 5. We've got the Talons of Fan Rocket, number 4. Seeds of you've missed one.
No, he hasn't. City of Death, number 5. Fan Rock, number 4. Talons, number 3. Seeds of Doom, number 2.
Though, if you can put the full episode names up and the number that they are, that would be great because I'm getting confused here with some of them. Right. Toy Mechanic. Let's see what your top 5 is. Wow, number 5, Terror of the Zygons. Good story. Number 4 is Genesis. You got Deadly Assassin at number 3. Number 2, City of Death. And number 1 is Ark in Space. That's a good top 5 as well. See, again, there's so many good Tom Baker stories that this was always going to be difficult. Right, number 5 for Lee Halford is The Deadly Assassin. Number 4 is The Pirate Planet. Number 3 is Genesis of the Daleks. Number 2 is Pyramids of Mars. And number 1 is Terror of the Zygons. Good story as well. Wow.
Actually, there's a lot of variety, isn't there?
There is.
People have got different ones.
I'm actually surprised. Yeah, because it's 5. Maybe we should have done top 2, but that's too easy. We have to make it difficult because, it will be interesting. See, if we were to do a top 10, then I reckon everybody's top 5 would actually change because they could, because people are moving stories around to suit the top 5. You get me? So David Rayner, number 5 for him is Robots of Death. Number 4 for him is Ark in Space. Number 3 is Morbius. Number 2 is Deadly Assassin. And number 1 for him is Genesis of the Daleks. So Genesis does seem to be number 1 for a lot of people, I have to say. And a few have suggested also Pyramids as well. So it's actually not bad. There's the thing, Kings. I have it there. So it'll probably interchange, but so we got the Android Invasion 5, as Charlotte said, Terror of the Zygons, Ark in Space, Pyramids of Mars, and Genesis again, number 1. You don't realize how good this story is. You're in for a lovely surprise the weekend. And I think, right, so TARDIS time, he's done it. Right, here we go. Right. So here is his top 5 now. So number 5 is The Face of Evil. Number 4 is The Seeds of Doom. Number 3 for him is Genesis of the Daleks. And number 2 is Robots of Death. And we got Pyramids of Mars at number 1. See, Genesis and Pyramids are very popular with everybody. So I have noticed that, Pyramids is either number 1 or number 2 on most people's lists.
Yeah, they're very different stories, aren't they?
And they are, completely different. I have to say, Genesis is a very dark story, I think. And I think this was the time where a woman, that feminist or whatever her name is, that busybody, was saying that
Mary.
Doctor Who, that Doctor Who was getting too violent. And this would have been one of the stories, because this is a violent story, I have to say. Even at the start of the story, I won't say that, but there's bloodshed at the start. Like, it doesn't shy away from the violence, but the writing in it is just top notch. It is. If I didn't have a soft spot for pyramids, right? I'll be honest. I think I would agree with most people. Genesis is the definitive Tom Baker story. It blows me away. It's a really good story. Oh well, whatever. She wasn't the feminist. Well, she was a tick. Right, there you go. She was. Do you know what she was? She was the SJW of those times.
The proto version.
Yeah, that's what she was. And here's the thing, right? The poor woman probably, nothing better to do. Maybe her husband wasn't doing his job properly as a husband, and she had nothing better to do, so she went and decided to start complaining. You get a lot of women like that. Their lives are shitty, and then they go and make everybody else's life a fucking misery, like we've seen in the fandom recently. But look, Jesus Christ, man, that those people's top fives, lot of variety there, I have to say. Well, we've all said it in the chat as well that our top fives could change. And next week, if we were to do this again next week, I guarantee you, people's top five would probably change. Oh Jesus, man! Oh, she would have loved Chris Chibnall. Oh, you don't even go there, man. Those two would have been the best of pals, for God's sake. Jesus Christ, man. But we won't go there because, she hated Rambo and Halloween, did she?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Two of the greatest movies probably made. That tells you all that needs to know. That woman just had a boring life, right?
Yeah.
And she wanted to make a name for herself back then, so I like a lot of the fandom today. They want to make a name for themselves, but that is very interesting. That people's top fives. I mean, look, as I said, Charlotte is gonna be really, really surprised by this story. Genesis is just
And then Daniel, you can stop mithering me.
You'll have to go easy on her, but
I don't know about that. She's just
But do you know what you should do? Check out the trailer. It'll give you a taste of what's to.
No, I'd rather go in like not knowing anything.
Oh, blind. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. But look, that's our top fives. Just to recap, if I remember what order I believe and put them in. So, Robot for me was number 5, wasn't it? City of Death was number 4. Revenge of the Cybermen was number 3 for me. Genesis was number 2, and of course, Pyramids of Mars was number 1 for me. And guys, if you want to recap, use our top 5 again, if you can remember.
Yeah.
You had to think there for a second what I picked, but no, that was my top 5. And
I
you know
mine. I can remember
it.
Planet of Evil then was number 5. Then it was the Armageddon Factor. Then it was Brain Morbius. Then it was Ark in Space. Then it was Pyramids of Mars.
Daniel.
Mine is Hunter Fear horrifying robots yes, Passion and Genesis of the Darwin.
Very end. I have to be honest. Even on the panel, see how different the stories that we have in our top 5s. Honorable mentions, of course, would be some people are Underworld is good too. Yeah, not bad story actually. What else have we got there? Someone else.
I think a few people said Seeds of Doom. I saw that.
Seeds of
mentioned a few
Doom, yeah,
times.
another one. Actually, yeah, I'll tell you what, right? One more, right? So pick a story that you pick a. I'll let you right. Pick a Tom Baker story that you think is underrated and deserves more love. So we'll ask you guys in the chat, and Charlotte. I won't ask you this if you
No,
because
don't.
I know this will be hard because you're still going through the Tom Baker era with us. But Daniel, you'll definitely have a story of Tom Baker's that you think is underrated and deserves more love. More love. What would that be for you?
Like for me, that's a controversial one, but I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, Ulfs or Ulfs or Ulfs or oh, because um because had um I've always had a soft spot for the I've always had a soft spot for this story. And although Adric gets a bit annoying later on, um he's introduced he's introduction to the show and then the SM and the SM story was actually pretty good after. So yeah, I mean, I think people should maybe give those to one another and watching a bit more of an appreciation.
Actually, mine's going to surprise people. For me, it's going to be Shada. Now, while I don't think the animation is great, it's actually not a bad story, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a favorite of most fans out there. And remember, I think there's different copies of that episode about, isn't there, or that story about, isn't there, because there was different DVD releases and stuff. But the latest one that they released, I think, was pretty good. So I would have to say, yeah, Shada would be an underrated gem for me, or deserves an honorable mention. Lee says Face of Evil for him deserves an honorable mention. So if there's any other stories, guys, that you think a story there that you think deserve an honorable mention in the chat, please leave it in there. We've got do us a favor, moderators. You know what to do in the chat there. I'm not going to say it nor bring any. So, Taran experiment for the third Doctor. That is a good story as well. Yeah, that would be a bit of an underrated or deserves an honourable mention. Someone says Android Invasion TARDIS time. Yeah, that's been in some people's top 5 as well. But yeah, the androids of Tara is underappreciated, says Real Super Doctor. Talons for Enigmatic Joker. Who else? Shada is another one, but the animation is mediocre, says Real Super Doctor. I would have to agree with you there. The image of, as I said, guys, moderators, I hope you are on top of it there, please. Image of Fandel, underrated. Planet of Evil and Android Invasion toy mechanic. Raymond Williams, though, has given us his top 5, so I will read that out because so we got Ark in Space as number 5. Number 4, we got City of Death. 3 for him is Genesis of the Daleks. 2, Talons, and we got number 1, Pyramids of Mars. And then another one from Real Super Doctor, The Power of Crawl. Yeah. Right. Listen. My moderators, right? Listen to me, right? Yous are supposed to be better than that. So just as I said, just remove the comments and don't react. Right? Just don't react. Right? We'll sort it out on Twitter. Just don't react, okay? Revenge of the Cybermen from the Think King as well. Honorable mention, Image of Vanda, as I said. Right, as I said, will you all stop reacting to the people in the chat? Just ignore it.
Yeah, ignore it.
Just ignore it. Just remove them, report them, and ignore it. Just let's move on. A Real Super Doctor says Destiny of the Daleks is underrated, but Goodison was poor as Davros, not as good as Wisher. I would agree with you on that one. Daniel, you'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I felt David Goodison was a bit shit though, to be honest. Like he wasn't on the same level as Michael Usher either. To me, Michael Usher is to me, Michael Usher is for us. He has that character to me, and like the same performance was it's the really it's just a really cheap argument over us interpretation.
PG says, hail chat. Welcome. Look at guys, you know, these people are not going to stop. So just remove them. We're enjoying ourselves here tonight. Don't let them upset the apple cart, right? So moderators, just do what you have to do. Remove them, report them. You know what to do. Wisher is borderline insane and demented, which is scary. I agree with you, Real Super Doctor. I have to say that Davros is bleeding brilliant. That version of Davros is brilliant. Again, Charlotte, I have to say, you are going to be blown away by this story, Genesis. It is. I have to admit, look, as I said, my personal favorite is Pyramids, and I'm going to leave that at number one. But if Pyramids didn't exist, Genesis of the Daleks would be number one for me, I have to say. And it's a great story. And you know what? Because we've been talking about it so much now, I might actually watch that tonight. I might actually watch it tonight. And I don't normally do that when I know I'm going to do it the weekend. But I actually might watch that tonight now because everybody is bleeding, got me going for it. So, yeah. But look, as I said, obviously we will do New Who top fives, and Charlotte will be doing a few with me, especially when we do Matt Smith, because Matt Smith is a favorite doctor of hers.
Yeah, that's gonna be when I'm gonna be like, oh, which one do I put where? That's gonna be me when it's Matt. It really is.
Right, they're pretending to be other people in the chat now, so just make sure you don't get. Remember, you will know because Lee is obviously a mod, so if it doesn't have a wrench beside his name, and poor TARDIS time thinking,
we know TARDIS, we know
it's not you. But listen, just to that person, I will address you just once here, right? And you might think you're being a little bit of a smart arse, but I'm already working behind the scenes to find out who you are. And when I do, I'm going to go to the police and I'm going to make sure that you're locked up. You do not send death threats to any of my friends. You are done in this fandom, and you will be actually I will find you. I will find you. I'll find out who you are, and I am going to the police, and I'm going to have you done for what you've been doing. Right? You're an absolutely disgusting individual, and we know who it is. Lee knows who it is. We know who it is, right? So we're going to get something done about this. How dare you, right? And that's all I'm going to say on it, because that's the only airtime that you're getting. But I am, right? If Daniel doesn't go to the police, I'm going to get something done about it, because I am sick and tired of you people harassing innocent people in this fandom. And for what? Because they have a different opinion about an era of Doctor Who that you happen to like. Yous are truly pathetic little people, and you need to get a life. And I tell you, the things that you're doing now, right? The things that you're doing now, it's not going to bode well for you when you grow up, when you become an adult. Remember, we're living in an age of cancel culture. All of this will catch up on you, right? And imagine you sort your life out, right? And you stop doing this and you grow up, right? Few years from now, all of this will come back to haunt you, right? And if you've got a perfect life, it'll be turned upside down. Why risk all of that, right? For doing something like this, right? Grow up, right? I'm not even going to have an argument with you here, but grow up, man, right? Get yourself a life. Get out there, make friends, do whatever that makes you a better person, right? But don't be coming on here and don't be going to Twitter sending private messages to people and sending them death threats and sending porn images and all the usual stuff that you've done to me and others in this fandom, right? Just stop it. Grow up, all right? Because you know what? Life is too short, yeah? And you know what? If you just took life by the horns, you would see that it can be great. I don't know why you're such a miserable bastard, but whatever happened in your life, you really need to go and sort out your issues, because you clearly do have some issues going on in your personal life. Sort them out. Go and talk to someone. But don't be coming here and taking your frustrations out on me or Daniel or anybody else here. All right? Because we're not going to tolerate it anymore. And as I said, if I do find out who you are, right, and I find out your address, I'm handing it straight over to the UK police, and you will be done for sending death threats, right? I've posted your little death threat up for everybody to see, right? You're disgusting. Now, we'll leave it at that because I've said me piece, but grow up. And that goes for every other little troll that's listening here tonight. Grow the hell up and get a bloody life. Go out and make some friends or whatever it is you do, right? It's not our fault that Doctor Who, this era Doctor Who shit, right? We report on it. If you don't like what we have to report on, I'm sorry. We're not going to change. So grow up. Sick of this crap. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Everybody is entitled to feel whatever which way they feel. But you've got these people that think they can bully people offline. But look, I predicted all of this. I said it after Jodie and Chibnall were announced that these people would go full throttle. And they're right. Right. You know. Right. Don't worry. You'll be sorted. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. I'm really not. I'm sick and tired of this, but I really am. I mean, you're sad. You're sad. I don't know what happened in your life, but you really are a sad little individual. You know, you come on here when we're talking about our favorite Tom Baker stories, and you're insulting people, and you're saying vile things, and for what? And for what? You really need to stop now.
Hi, Dan. Dan's just popped in the chat. Hi, Dan.
Yeah, we're having a great stream, actually. I just wanted to address that, but you're right. I'm not going to get into a whole big thing now. I've said what I've had to say. And something did need to be said there now, right? I didn't want to actually say that on this stream, but I'm not having that. But we'll just keep going anyway. But Dan, because you've popped into the chat, we were doing our top 5 Tom Baker stories. So if you have a top 5 Tom Baker list, if you want to put it up in the chat there, we'll whack it up for everybody to see. And we've also had a few honourable mentions as well. But look, thank you all for joining us. We're not going anywhere yet, but I just want to say thank you for all of you supporting the channel, supporting Daniel and Charlotte as well. Appreciate it. Terror of the Zygons is really good, says Tar this time. Yeah, again, I could have put that in my top 5 as well. You know, there's just so many. And when Charlotte sees all the Tom Bakers, I guarantee her top 5 is going to change as well.
It will.
I mean, if me and Daniel were to do this again next week, I guarantee we'd have a different top 5. He says, let me think. No problem, Dan. You think away there. Go ahead, Daniel.
Because my choices and to change most times than I've had hot dinner, so it probably we would change next week.
The second one, I know. Even my top 5, well, I'm kind of like debating now. As the third doctor says, I probably have changed my mind about 17 times now. But I'm even looking at my top 5 now and saying, have I made the right choices?
Well, Dan's just said one of his is going to be Creature. What's it? Creature from the Pit.
It's going to be, well, it'll depend. Do you know what it'll be, Dan? It'll depend on where you put it, whether it's going to be in your top 3 or number 4 or 5. There has been a bit of controversy. My top 5 is Robot, City of Death, Revenge of the Cybermen, Genesis of the Daleks, and Pyramids of Mars. That's my top 5. But we've had different top 5s. But Hand of Fear is being mentioned again. That was in Daniel's top 5 as well. But some people think it's a underrated gem. Again, see, this is the thing. If I had done a top 10, it would have been easier for me and Daniel. Obviously, slightly harder for Charlotte because she's still going through the Tom Baker era. But if it was a top 10 we were doing, me and Daniel would probably have a better time at trying to decide what hair.
Oh, I think we've nearly broken Dan. He's mentioned 3. He's saying this is really hard. Creature, Zygons, Hand of Fear.
Right, hold on. Where's that comment? So you got Creature, Zygons, Hand of Fear. So is that 5, 4, and 3? So your top 2 has to be either Genesis or Pyramids, maybe. I'm not going to influence you, but one of those stories at least has to be in your top 2. Or maybe not. Maybe Dan has a different top 5 completely. Seeds of Doom. See, again, you are mentioning all these stories now, and I'm debating whether I picked the right top 5. Stop it. Oh, God. Oh, I think we have broke Dan. Poor Dan.
I think we have.
God, this is effing hard. You're right. It is. I'm struggling, man. Do you know what? I'm struggling so much that I even confused 2 stories. I imagined that Pyramids of Mars and Genesis were the one story. Oh, God. Yeah, there's 40 stories. Tom's first 3 seasons will never be bettered. There are still great stories after that. And then Raymond has mentioned a lot there. Ones that haven't been mentioned, actually, I will actually call out. So State of Decay is another one. Warrior's Gate is another one that hasn't been mentioned tonight. So that's why I just mentioned those 2. The other stories that he has mentioned have been mentioned on this stream tonight. Planet of Evil. Real Super Doctor has gone through all the list as well. I love it. I love it. Oh Jesus, guys, I don't know now. My top five looks kind of bit shady now.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking by it. I'm sticking by it because that's how I feel right now. See, I think this is what it is, and maybe you guys will probably agree with me. But I think it depends on the mood that you're in when you're voting for these stories. What do you think, Daniel? Do you think that's something to do with it, like the mood?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because sometimes as well I've noticed that with stories that wasn't so keen on the first time as well, because sometimes when it's a story that I didn't like the first time as well, like the second time I watched it, my opinion has completely changed on it. So your opinions do change over time on certain episodes.
It does, Daniel. The Spacebook is at the same thing. That's very right, Noel. Depending on my mood, I choose different ones. That's what I mean. I know for a fact if I was to do this top 5 list next week, it'd probably have different stories in it, or they'd be shifted around. And I mean, even some of the stories that people have met, I said, "Oh damn, I've missed that one," you know. So yeah, I have to say, The Invisible Enemy, K9's first story. I'll ask you this question actually in the chat. Let's see who the first one is to answer it. Who was K9's original owner?
Oh, I know it, but I can't remember the dude's name.
Let's see if
Oh,
anybody gets it in the chat. Let's
oh,
see.
that's going to annoy me now.
Do you know what? It'd be great. I was thinking, maybe sometime we do a kind of like what we used to do on Rabbi's channel, a bit of a Doctor Who quiz. Get people on. But instead of doing it the way we did it, we do a kind of you've got 30 seconds to answer as many questions on Doctor Who as possible, right? And then we move on to the next person, see who gets the most questions right and stuff like that. And then that's your winner sort of thing. I was thinking of doing something like that. I don't know if you guys would be interested. But there you go. There is a couple of people, actually a lot of years, have got the answer right. Well done. Well done. Because, if you were to ask a fan today, they probably wouldn't have a clue. By the way, just to add about the trolls, don't worry about them. They're adding to the viewers and the numbers. They don't realise that they're actually helping the channel. So, that's how we have to look at these things. So just laugh, So there we go. So we got loads of people there that actually, now, you didn't Google that now, did you?
Yeah, we can't check.
Well, we can't check now to see if you're dead, but you didn't Google it now, did you? Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump in a couple of minutes, folks.
I know you do. I know you do. I'll tell you what to do. I know Daniel's going to do it again, but if you want to plug someone different, because
Yes.
Daniel will be plugging, if there is someone that you'd like to give a special mention to, go ahead.
Well, he's just started, and he let me jump on. Enigmatic Joker. He's just started his channel, and he's streaming. So I think if we can all show support, and let me try and get the proper title of it, unless PD or one of our lovely mods can already put the link in the chat. It's
no problem. Yeah. Put that link in the chat, guys. As we said, we like to support new and upcoming YouTubers on the channel.
So if you want to find it, it's Dutch Doctor Who channel, and that is our very own Enigmatic Joker, who's been in lots of our chats and has been lovely. So if you can show support for him, that's who I want to shout
Absolutely.
out.
I'm pretty sure one of the moderators will find it. There we go. PD
Yeah,
Rich is already
PD
on it.
Rich is
He already has it there. So go and support Enigmatic Joker. Yeah, they've been great actually. Delightful having him in the chat. We got some nice people. Do you know what? It's really our credit to this fandom, the whole lot. Yes. It's just a pity that there's others out there that don't take the example of you guys. You know, yous are great. Yous are great fans. Yous don't deserve any of this. Nobody does anyway. But you guys, yous don't deserve this rubbish. But Charlotte, listen, we will let you go because I know you definitely have to go. But look, I just want to say on behalf of myself and because you did send me a private message as well, I just want to say thank you for reaching out and making sure that I was okay. It meant a lot, I have to say. And listen, you know, as I said, you're a permanent fixture on this channel. Love having you on. And you're the queen. So remember that, right? But seriously, if you could see me now, you'd see how I am genuine here. I absolutely adore having you on, and long may it continue. But you and Daniel, as I said, you keep doing what you are doing because you are knocking it out of the park, and you really do work well together. So I have to say, not only am I proud of Daniel, but I'm proud of you as well. And yeah, what people don't realize is that you're behind the scenes when Daniel needs someone to talk to him, and you're there for him, and you're a great friend. So I just want to thank you for being there for Daniel as well, because we do know that, you know, he gets a lot of stick, which he shouldn't. But I'm glad there's someone like you there that he trusts enough to go and talk to. So I want to thank you for that, because I know how much the friendship matters to Daniel. And as I said, we all cherish our friendship on this channel. And I have to say, you've been one of the, like Daniel, you're one of the bright sparks of this fandom. And you know, you're a lovely person, and you know, keep it up, right?
Well,
And
you guys are my YouTube family, so I'll always be there for anybody who wants it. So, and that's what they don't see, and that's what they'll
exactly.
never be able to break. So,
That's it.
yes, see you soon.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Thank you. I hope I didn't make you cry now. This is very important Doctor Who channel. Long live at the TARDIS Zone, says the Spacebook. Dan, again, you know, your words of encouragement as well. Especially, you know, when I've had problems, you've always come in and you've always given me a bit of a lift up as well, like everybody else. But Charlotte is right about one thing. We're all a little family here. We're a community. We look out for each other. We care about each other. There's nothing fake about friendships in this fandom. We all support each other, and we try to be there when we can. And I just want to welcome all the new people that have come to the channel lately and started to become part of this community. Really appreciate it, and I'm telling you, you will never find a more welcoming place. I'm being honest with you. Everybody in the chat is so welcoming. They are a credit to this channel. You know, we get a bad reputation, and mostly it's because of me controversial opinions. But the community that we've built up is one of the best communities out there, and I will say that it is. It's a proper community, a proper family, and you know, a lot of them out there, you know, they claim to be part of this big group and family. They're not. They're not. This is the real family here, right now. And we will always, you know, be there for each other. So again, you know, when Daniel needed his friends, we rallied around because that's what we do. And then I said, let's do a stream, Daniel. Let's do something fun. And I'm glad we did this. And as I said, I'll always have his back. And I'll always have Charlotte's back. And I just want to make it clear to you trolls out there, when you go after Daniel or Charlotte or anybody like that, you've crossed the line. And trust me, it won't be just me that you'll have to deal with in the fandom. You'll have to deal with this community, because we look after our own, we protect our own, and we will always have Daniel's back. So back off. And I mean it, back off. This is just our final warning. And this is not a threat, by the way. I want to make it clear, when I mean by back off, if you don't back off, I'm going to the police. And I'm making that clear to you. Right? But we're family. We look after each other here. Yeah, put up Dan. Yeah, great. Dan's channel is up as well. That's absolutely fantastic. Chris, thank you for that. This is what the trolls don't see. Just like Charlotte said, this is a family that keeps growing whilst the other side keeps shrinking. Exactly. Listen, we look after each other. There's genuine people in this fan. There's nothing fake about us. You know, we're real people, and we've gotten to know each other. And as I said, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know all of you. Even those that don't talk to me now, that have fallen out with me, which there has been quite a few. It's been a pleasure getting to know them all. You know, it doesn't matter if it hasn't worked out friendship-wise, but a lot of these people, you know, we all came together because of a common goal, our love of Doctor Who. And you know, that'll never be taken away from us, no matter what these people do. So, as I said to Daniel earlier on, chin up, but remember one thing, we do have your back, mate, and we'll always have your back. And same with Charlotte. And I've already seen, and I was in peril when I needed words of advice, when I needed people to come and support me and rally around me. Everybody that I expected to be there was there. Even people that I didn't expect to come out and be nice and kind because they knew I was going through something came to me. And I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate everything. But that shows you what this community is like. We all care for each other. And as I said to Daniel and Charlotte, you know, they do some great work on YouTube. Dan from the Space Book, it knocks it out of the park. His streams are probably one of the most enjoyable streams out there. He even does little ad breaks as well. It does be great. I do pop in. I don't get to see them all, but I do pop in when I can and stuff. But I have to say, Dan's streams are absolutely wonderful. And if you haven't checked out Dan's channel, where have you been? Because seriously, go and check it out. If you want good debate, good chat, you know, and nice people, go and check them out. And he does have guests on like Mega Geek, and Charlotte does feature as well now. I've been on his channel as well. Dan is one of the nicest people out there. He's a nice human being. I mean, look, I'm kind of, I know I'm people probably think I'm going a little bit too far now, but this is how much, this is, when people start talking to me, look, this is one of the reasons why I didn't give in after everybody came to me, because this wonderful community that we've built up, if I decided to go, that's it, it's gone. And I don't want to be responsible for that, because I could see friendships developing. We all can. It's wonderful. It absolutely is. So look, I'm going to stop because I'm kind of getting a bit, you know, as I always do, and I don't want to give them the satisfaction of getting upset. But I just want you to know that you mean the world to me. Thank you for the support, you know, and thank you for becoming part of my journey as well on YouTube. It's been, look, it's been a roller coaster, have to say, but hopefully now, fingers crossed, that when this era ends, that somewhere within the BBC someone has said, right, let's bring Doctor Who back to a traditional show. And I'm not saying necessarily Michael Sheen will become the doctor. But let's hope they make the right choices, fingers crossed, because I can't do another 3 or 4 years of this nonsense with these fans. I can't. But we will continue. We will continue to grow. We will continue to, be welcoming to all of those new. And we do have new people that have come in. And I hope so far you've seen that we stick together, that we're a community that looks after each other. And we will never stop doing that. But by the way, before I do go in a few minutes, there is a hashtag there that I would like you guys to get behind. And I have to say, I just want to say one thing to all of those people that have used the hashtag. Thank you very much. But I will say this, unfortunately, none of the big YouTubers want to touch it. So we're going to have to do this on our own, but no better community to rally around the cause and to do it. So, yeah, that is unfortunate, but and I'm not going to get into it because I do have feelings about that, but I'm not going to. Now is not the time. But we are on our own when it comes to this. So just keep doing what you are doing. Use the hashtag, and let's hope that we can send a message. That's all it's ever been about. People are coming to me and say, well, they're not going to cast Michael. It's not the point. We're just trying to send a message, and that's all we've ever tried to do. I'm not saying that Michael Sheen will be 100% the doctor. We're just saying that he would be the ideal candidate, and he is, as fans, we think he is everything that epitomizes the doctor. That's it. That's just what it is. If he gets it, bonus. It'll be a huge bonus for us all. But we're not asking you to use the hashtag because we think he's going to be the next doctor, or we're trying to get him to be the next doctor. We want to send a message to the BBC. And as I said, and as Dan has rightly said, their side is shrinking away, right? Their hold and their grip on this fandom has been weakened, right? This is a chance, and the only chance that we're ever going to have to put our point across, get our feelings known, because remember, the BBC have ignored all of us, right? So this is our chance to be listened to. And I know people think that's impossible. Look at all the news articles. They're still writing news articles today, folks, about Michael Sheen. So it's still being in the limelight. And this is why I think it is a pity that the big YouTubers won't get behind it. Because if they were to ask their supporters to get behind it, this hashtag would actually trend. And then the news outlets wouldn't be able to ignore it. Because remember, anytime that side got a hashtag trending, they reported on it. And that's the whole goal of this, is to just try get the news media. Some of them have already come out and said they know that Michael Sheen is fans' number one choice, but it's still not good enough. We need all of the media to start talking about this, and this is why I do believe that this hashtag is important. I do know some of them are in Vegas. But when they're doing their streams, all it takes is a couple of minutes to say, can I just have his attention for a couple of minutes? I just want to talk to you about this hashtag that Doctor Who fans are trying to get going. It doesn't take too long, But look, I'm not going to get into it because I do find it quite disappointing, because if they asked us to get behind a campaign, this channel will be the first one to get behind our campaign. And I'm a small channel. I'll support a campaign if I believe that it's a just campaign. And this channel has got behind other people's campaigns. It's what Sheen represents. I 100% agree, says the Spacebook. But we'll see where it goes. But so far, as I said, it does seem to be. The big YouTubers seem to be elusive. And I mean, I've literally tagged them and asked them out straight on Twitter. It's not getting me anywhere. either they're ignoring me and not talking to me anymore, or they're just not interested. I don't know what it is, but it would be nice. And as I said, it'd only take 5 minutes of their time to alert fans about this and say that we're hang on for wait for further details, because we will be organising to get it trending. But at the end of the day, we can't waste any more time. As I said, we've got a window of opportunity here. And as the days go by, folks, Michael Sheen's name will slowly come out of the media spotlight. So we have to keep it in the spotlight. And that's the point. So hopefully I can. And as I said on Twitter, I'm not going to stop trying to convince people to get behind this, and because that's how much I love the show. I want the show to succeed. A lot of us do, and as Dan said there, it's absolutely true. So I'll just throw that comment up because it is true. But Daniel, for you, of course, you are one of the very first people to get behind it again. Every time we do that, and you always do. But there you go. Even PD is saying a shame for 14. I mean, I've been able to convince a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
see for myself as well. I'm just to make yourself know, even though I've not been happy with the show for around about 4 years, I still don't want the show to. I still don't want the show to disappear, because if it disappeared, they will have like a king the ribs on me almost.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what? I'm hearing this comment a lot, that Doctor Who is dead, right? And while I may have agreed with that maybe a few months back, and I did, because people will see that I did say on my streams that Doctor Who was dead, right? But of course, I've been obviously receiving information and stuff like that. And as I said, and I pointed out in a video last night, if you look at what Chris Chibnall's doing for his last season, it's been serialized, and it's going to have a story arc running right through it. So they're demands from the BBC. That's not just Chris Chibnall all of a sudden thinking, oh, I should go, oh, I've got a brainwave. This was forced upon him, because look at these 2 seasons before that, right? Completely different. Series 11 was completely something different. Then he tried to go back to the tried and tested Series 12, right? But now he's being told to serialize. So for people that are doubting that BBC are not going to change, well, to me, they've already indicated that there are going to be changes afoot. Now, whether that means they will cast, the likes of a Michael Sheen or whatever, remains to be seen. But I can see already that BBC are changing their approach. And I don't agree now that Doctor Who is dead. I think this show can, as I said to a couple of people, I think this show, I think there's a chance of redemption here. I really do. Now, I will say this, though. If they mess it up this time, it is done. And I think a lot of fans, even the ones that didn't necessarily agree with that statement, are starting to believe that, yeah, if they don't get it right, this is why loads of people are getting behind this hashtag, because they want to make sure that BBC know that BBC know that they've only got one more chance with us. This is the last chance saloon. They get this wrong, as I said, I'm done. And a lot of other fans will be done. Now, I will say this. We'll see who they cast for Dr. 14. But I will give the new era a go, because it's only fair. I gave this era a go. So whoever they cast, I'll give it a go. But if it keeps going in the same direction that the Whittaker era went in, well, then that'll be it. I'm done. And a lot of other fans will be done. So if anybody from the BBC is out there, just listen to the fans, listen to the British public. And I know people out there are already being negative and saying, well, they're not going to listen. The fans, they're not going to listen to the public. Well, they can't afford not to listen, because if they don't listen, they're going to lose more money, right? And to keep losing money, then Doctor Who's going to become unsustainable. And it means it goes off air and never comes back. So it's up to people what they want to do. But as I said, I'm going to continue to push this hashtag. Daniel says, no, the Spacebook says, Dan from the Spacebook says, night everybody, have to go. But great to see you guys. No problem, Dan. And as I said, Dan, don't be a stranger. You're more than welcome to come on sometime. You do know that. You do know that. Let me see. Hi guys, it's Shelley. I've got some major news. I just tweeted you, Marty and Eddie. I found out that they're shooting the Doctor Who special. Hold on, Jesus Christ. Where did you post that, Shelley? Shelley, where did you post that? Did you post that on Messenger or did you post that on Twitter? Let me know and I'll whack it up there. It'll be something for me and Daniel to actually have a look at before we do go.
I think it will be more than each one to a topic to share, and because Shell is active to isn't she?
Right, but where is it? You sent it to Marty? I thought you said you sent it to me as well. Did you send it to me as well, or did you just send it to Marty? If you could do me a favor, if you haven't sent it to me, send it to me on Twitter. Hold on, let me see. No. If you could send it to me, let me know. Because I'd really like to see that before we head off. More than like, maybe you probably sent it to me on Messenger though. That'd probably be the more likely scenario. But if you could send it to me so we could take a look at it before we go. I just sent it to Marty. Yeah, but send it to me. Send it to me because Marty probably won't get in touch with me for a couple of days because he's keeping an eye on other stuff as well. So if you could send it to me either on Twitter or if you are following me on Facebook, then obviously send it to me Messenger. I'll just see if Marty has sent it forward, but just give us a second because my phone went dead while we were talking. But we'll see what this is. What the hell is this? Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. I got a bit of a fright there. Forgot I added Eddie. So as you know, Eddie is Scara. Yeah, I added him on the yoke for a game, Black Ops on a Warzone, I should say. So I just got an email to say that we're friends because he's on Xbox and I'm on PlayStation. I panicked there when I seen Activision. I was like, what did I do? But it's all good. It's all good.
How can you actually play on and you get a PS1, he's getting
it's cross-platform. They've made a cross-platform. So Activision and stuff have made a cross-platform. The same with Fortnite. Fortnite is cross-platform as well. The only game that EA is kind of weird though because that's not cross-platform because Garminator I think he's dying to have a game of FIFA 21 or play FIFA against people because right, so yeah. No, I haven't received any message, so I don't know what's going on there. So I'll just leave it because it doesn't look like I've received that on Messenger. So that's Messenger though. So I'm just going to check Twitter real quick again. Let me see. Sorry, my phone's running very low because I've dropped it so many times that the bleeding thing is it's like a phone from the early 2000s where it gets clogged up with loads of
Yeah.
crap and the memory is not great and it starts running slow. Yeah, it's because I've dropped it so much. I've probably damaged the inside of it, but my bleeding message is not coming up on this phone. It's getting ridiculous now. Hold on. Right, I haven't received the message. I don't. I mean, you could. I'm pretty sure you're following me on Twitter. Why don't you just send it directly to me? Oh, okay. My old tablet went dead. I will send it to you when my old tablet is charged. Well, I'm not going to be on for long, so what I'll do is, hold on, I'll go into Marty real quick, and I'll say, that you sent her some stuff. Hold on. Sorry about this. Right, we'll see the answers because poor Marty, you know, he works, so he goes to bed early because he does be in work early. So we'll see if he actually sends me a message. If not, we'll have to leave it. We'll have to leave it until the next time. But I do actually have a lot of screenshots from a forum where they're talking about the one of the specials. I just haven't thrown it up yet because obviously I will have to crop them and put them up. There's so much. There's about 12 bloody screenshots. And as I said, I've got all those nasty screenshots as well, which I'll be throwing up on my Twitter account. Remember, by the way, just to let you know, there's not just the attacks on Daniel on that account. There's some other vile stuff as well. And if you can report it, I can guarantee you that Twitter account will be suspended permanently, but it still won't stop them from setting up another one. But at least that account will be down. But if I do find out, and if I can get more information on this person, I'm going to be going to the police because, as I said, I'm done with this nasty piece of crap that keeps attacking people in our community. So yeah, I see some people are talking about Star Trek. Yeah, I don't watch Kurtzman Trek. Well, I don't watch Discovery, but I have watched season 1 of Picard. Me and Lee did try to get through Lower Decks, but we couldn't. Now you're all right, Shelley. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can't help if your tablet went dead. We can do it another time. There's no big deal. Don't worry. I did watch the first 5 episodes of season 1 of Discovery, but it's not my type of Trek anyway. If people enjoy it, that's good for them. But it's not my thing. I like the purest form of Trek, which is obviously the original series as far as I'm concerned. And I do like, because I grew up with Next Generation, I do like Next Generation. And controversial, I am a Voyager fan. I know that for some people isn't one of the best Treks out there, but for me, I do love Voyager. And again, the first female captain, I get accused of being a sexist pig, but yet my favourite characters are mostly all female. Sarah Connor, Ellen Ripley, Jane Wright, Xena Warrior Princess, grew up watching that as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's yeah. So all right, I'll try give it to you tonight. Yeah, not look at there's no rush. Whenever you can send it to me, you're fine, Shelly. Don't worry about it. It happens. Tablet is you can't help it if a tablet goes dead. Um, so don't worry about that. But Daniel, I think
Yeah.
it's time for you to plug yourself now, and if you've got something coming up, please let people know.
One for I do have to decided to do a stream to promote the scene for 14 campaign and then on Tuesday it's back to Mal and our reviews are in the so yeah, that's what I've got coming up, and both streams will have Charlotte on.
Lovely. What else is there anything else that you have coming up in a few weeks' time? I know that me and Daniel will be doing, if he's up for it, we will do another top five list. I'll try and make it a little bit easier with the doctor, but me and Daniel will discuss what doctor we do next. But we will be doing some new Who top fives with Charlotte, and if Daniel wants to be part of that as well, he's more than welcome. But listen, besides you're gonna be doing your line of duty as well. Are you? Because I know, so I've seen some people ask you this, so this is the reason why I'm asking you. Are you going to be Are you going to be going back to do your Beware reviews? Because didn't I hear that Beware has new stuff coming up, and I think they were wondering whether are you gonna be doing any of that again, or are you still putting
Uh,
it on hold?
um, I'll I'll probably get back into it after I finish in the gym because that's the main focus at the moment.
Yeah,
So it's something to do after in the gym. Yeah, I think I might get back into it at some point in the near future. But like as I said, guys, um, if you can't wait until then, I've got the first five episodes already reviewed. So if you want to hear my opinions on that series so far, you can go back and listen to them because they're all organised on a playlist. On a playlist. On a playlist. So
brilliant. That's it. Put them all in one place where people can find them. And yes, check out. I know people have already put the link in the description, but please go and support Daniel if you haven't already subscribed to his channel, because I know we do have new people watching. So if you haven't subscribed to any of the channels that we've actually mentioned tonight, please do. You will find uh, there'll be there's different YouTubers for everybody, and if you don't like my channel, I'm pretty sure there's channels out there that we have listed tonight that'll be more to your tastes. That's the best thing about YouTube. Um, you know,
yeah,
is the variety of Doctor Who content out there, and different YouTubers with different content. We don't just focus on Doctor Who here either. Normally tonight we would be doing a movie stream, but of course, because of everything that happened today, I wanted to bring my friend on and show solidarity with him and do something fun. So that's why we decided to do this. So tomorrow we will be doing the movie stream because Alpha Omega, as far as I know, is working at the moment. So Sliders won't be returning for a while, but we will be starting season 2 of Sliders pretty soon. But we will have Big Trouble in Little China. So if anybody wants to know what the movie is for tomorrow, get your copies of Big Trouble in Little China ready, because we'll be doing that as the movie stream watch along tomorrow. So we watch, and then we obviously, while we're watching, and everybody watches with us with your copy. Obviously, we don't show it on YouTube because of copyright and all of that. But I do ask people to put their DVDs on. We do a bit of a countdown, and then we watch the movie together. People give their opinions in the chat, and we have a panel that will also be giving their opinions while we're watching the movie. So that's Big Trouble in Little China. It's a Kurt Russell movie. So come and join us for that tomorrow. And as I said, we're kind of easing ourselves back in, but well, I can hardly say I'm easing myself back in because, but there you go. We're going to continue to do what we do. We'll have, obviously, Friday Contact. It will be back, and this time I'm determined to have some fun. But listen, I'm going to say it now, right? So it's, what day is it today now? It's what? Wednesday, right? So I'm giving you 2 days notice. So if anybody wants to be part of that stream, you have to send me a DM. Right? So if you want to be part of Contact, right, it's a fun stream. We'll be talking about movies, music, whatever whatever we decide. Sometimes we do show some funny videos, but unfortunately, some of the videos that I did show in the last stream were actually blocked. So we can't. I won't be doing those type of videos anymore. But we will do other fun stuff. Just can't do it, guys, because I don't want the channel to be affected. So we can't do the funny videos, unfortunately. But we will have fun. We will be talking, as I said, all of the fun things that are happening in pop culture. Because, as I said, it's not all doom and gloom out there. There are some good shows being made, good movies. And we'll also, we give some suggestions of TV shows and movies that you mightn't have seen growing up, or even shows that you aren't aware of, or movies you aren't aware of today. And we'll have a nice little chat. So if you want to be part of that stream, please send me a DM. Okay? I will be setting the stream up tonight. It'll be up on the channel tonight for Friday. So if you want to be part of it, send me a DM. It's the only way that you're going to get on for now. And the reason why is because of exactly what happened tonight. Because unfortunately, there are some clowns out there that just can't help themselves and want to upset everybody. So we're going to limit that as much as we can. And that's the only way that I can think of right now to get around that. So if you want to be part of Contact Friday, please send me a DM, whether it's on Twitter or if you follow me on Messenger, please do. And remember, if I don't know you, i.e. if it's someone that I've never had on before, or someone that hasn't been in the community long enough, you won't be getting on. Obviously, there are new people in there. But as I said, as we get to know you a little bit more and stuff like that, then you will be welcomed on the channel. We have to take these precautions, unfortunately, because of what's going on. And well, I've already got one message. It's just popping up on my screen. So we will sort that out. What I would say is, if you want to be part of it, that's fine. When you send me a message, say you want to be part of it, do us a favor. I won't mention the person that just sent me a message, but you know who you are. Also send me your email address. What I'll do is I'll write it down, and I'll have a list of all these our email addresses so I can keep them. Right, so Lee Lee is asking a question there. So he says, does anyone have or know anyone with Peter Hell's team separate mixed stems? Do you know where you might get that, Lee? Actually, I probably can't say over the stream. I'll send you. Are you looking for Are you looking for a video that you could talk? Are you looking for video? Or are you looking for just the music itself? Because you might get it on, and I'm gonna send you a DM on Twitter now. You might get it on this thing if my phone could bleed. Here, do you know, I'm gonna use my computer because my phone is doing my bleeding head in. Now, where's Lee in this? He's somewhere. Oh my God, she's laughing. Once she's laughing at me, and she's getting her bit. Like, so seriously, man, it's crazy. I'm not even gonna get into it, but it was last year. It was comical. Right, so you might get it on this site. I don't know if you can convert it into an audio, but I'm pretty sure you'll find it on this. So I've sent you a DM there now, Lee. You can go and check that out. I'm very close to get my titles done, and the theme I was working has technical issues. Oh, so you need an audio file, right? I'm gonna send you another DM because that'll be no good. Right, hold on. So
It says you check it out.
Right, but no, but I don't know if you could turn it into an audio file. So he'll want one that turns into an audio file. So I'm gonna send him a site where he can actually go and get and it turns it. You download it as an audio file instead of the video.
Yeah.
So there you go. I've sent you that other one as well. That's what I use to get all my music, and it just be on YouTube. And what that second site does is whatever video you name. So, for example, what you're looking for, they turn it into it downloads automatically as an audio file. No, but it downloads automatically as it'd probably be the easiest one for you to use. Trust me, man. So go and check that out anyway. But I can't wait to see your finished titles because as we'd all seen, you blown us away by your talent. But look, we're going to leave it there. I want to thank Daniel and Charlotte as usual for being part of this. And as I said, you guys being part of the community as well means a lot. We will see you all again. And as I said, guys, we'll have these people who try drag us down. The best thing we can do is just keep doing what we're doing. And, we'll be there for each other anyway. So, don't let them upset you. Because that's what they want. And I gave them what they wanted Friday, but I needed to get a lot of things off my chest. But that'll be the last time that'll ever happen. My headspace is a lot better now because I have been talking to my friends. And, I just want to thank everybody. As I said, and I mentioned this a couple of times, but Lee wasn't here when I mentioned this. So now that he is here, I'm just going to say it. Lee had already seen the warning signs a few weeks beforehand because he knew there was something wrong because I took the shackles off and I didn't give a feck who I was criticizing, even though in all of the cases I was justified. It's just something I don't normally do though. But Lee knew there was something up. He tried to talk to me and I kept telling him there was nothing wrong. But I'm going to say this to audience because I have to learn from this experience, and I have learned from this experience. The one thing I will say to you is all, never bottle up all of this. If there's something going on, go and speak to someone. It's the best thing to do. Don't bottle it up because it'll only make it worse. So if there's that playing on your minds, go and speak to someone. Just like what Daniel did with me today when he had issues. He came and he spoke to his friends. So oh, that's what you need. Okay, well then ignore what I sent you then, because I haven't got it. I seriously, that you're going into a realm there. Problem being that I don't, even though, because you're the talented guy. But look, again, Lee, fair play, because you spotted that there was something wrong. But I will say this, as I said, don't keep these things bottled up inside you. If there is something going on, go and talk to someone. The best thing, because it'll lift a lot off your chest, and you don't need to be stressing yourself out. Right, I'm going to leave it there anyway, because we've gone 2 hours and 16 minutes, but I hope you did enjoy that top 5. Some interesting choices by everybody in the chat, and certainly on this panel. But I guarantee, as I said, if we were to do this next week, it'd be a shit show, because we'd have a different top 5. And remember, as I said, I always leave with this. You can see that it's scrolling across the screen. Don't forget to use the hashtag Shane414 on your social media accounts. Keep it going. Hopefully I do bag 1 or 2 of these big YouTubers. I'll keep working on it. You know I will. You know I'll fight tooth and nail. I always have. And I'll continue to do what I do, and hopefully we can. And if we do, then we might have a serious chance here to be heard. And that's all I want. We've never, they've ignored us for so long that I even forget what it's like to be listened to by the BBC. But there you go. Right, I just want to make sure there's no important messages there. But cheers, Noel, another cracking stream. Loved hearing your 145 different top 5. I know, Third Doctor. But again, if we were to do it tomorrow, it would be different. Do it next week, it'd be different again. And as Lee said, Shane, hashtag Shane414. Listen, I appreciate you all doing that as well. Yous are legends. But look, I'm going to shut up now because my voice is actually starting to go. And I have to bring Ted out shortly. And I haven't even had my dinner, and I've probably set the pot on fire. Actually, Cheryl's taking it off the fucking cooker there. Alright. There we go. Because I just have to do something. But there you go, right. Right, we're off. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to catch Daniel on his channel and catch me here again. And as I said, and by the way, Digby Strawbridge, thank you for the super chat earlier on, actually. I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. I have to give you a special mention because we literally only started the stream and you threw up a super chat. So thank you very much for that. It's much appreciated. We'll talk to you soon. Here is the channel main titles, because we did start with the classic, but I'll leave you with the channel main titles. And if you're looking for some work, Lee in the chat there is your man. And competitive prices, check out his work. Aldred Audio Visual, and I'm pretty sure one of the mods will throw it up there in the chat. Here we go. Good night, folks. See you later. Say good night, Daniel.
To the mods in the chat, and firstly is one Nelson's no Moses, and we'll see you again soon.
We will. Night Noel and Dan Ledge. Yeah, he is a legend. And the legend was supposed to get the last words in there, but you know what I mean? You're all still sending messages, but we'll talk to you soon. Here's the trailer.
She's
Shane for 14.